You know what's funny about being British? We'll have a cuppa for absolutely anything. Break up? Put the kettle on. Burst pipe? Put the kettle on. Existential crisis at 3 a.m? You already know the answer. We drink somewhere between 100 and 160 million cups of tea every single day in this country. That's not a beverage preference, that's a national coping mechanism. And about 97% of all that tea comes from those little individual tea bags. Convenient, comforting, traditional. Except there's something properly grim hiding inside that bag you're dunking into your mug. Something the industry has been covering up for decades while we argued about milk. Right, so let's talk about the Great British Milk debate. Milk in first or milk in last? MIF or MIL? People have genuinely fallen out over this. Families divided, friendships ended. And here's the mad part. It all started because of social class.
Poor families used cheap porcelain that cracked under boiling water, so they poured milk first to cool it down. Rich families had fancy china that could handle the heat, so they added milk after. We've spent literal generations obsessing over this ritual. Entire articles written, documentaries made, debates on morning telly. Meanwhile, the tea industry was quietly poisoning us, and nobody noticed, because we were all too busy arguing about whether Gran was common for putting the milk in first. For decades, we assumed the tea bag was just paper and dried leaves. Natural, harmless, British. But to survive boiling water without falling apart, they had to add something else. Something you definitely weren't expecting. Polypropylene. That's what they used for years to seal the edges of your tea bag. Straight up plastic, derived from petroleum. And nobody knew. Until British gardeners started noticing something weird in their compost bins. Little plastic skeletons.
The leaves would rot away, but the bag stayed intact, like some kind of synthetic ghost. People kicked off, so the industry pivoted. They switched to something called PLA, polylactic acid, made from corn or sugarcane. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? And they slapped it all over the boxes. 100% biodegradable, plastic-free. Absolute greenwashing nonsense. PLA is still a synthetic polymer. It only breaks down in industrial composting facilities at crazy high temperatures. In your garden compost, it just sits there. In your cup of boiling water, it doesn't dissolve either. It releases billions of microplastic and nanoplastic particles directly into your brew. You're drinking plastic, thinking you're being eco-friendly. And that's just the bag itself. Wait till you hear what's actually inside it. Because the industry needed to cut costs on the filling, and they found a way to sell you factory waste while making you think you're getting a proper brew. The British working class love something called a builder's tea. Strong, dark, ready in 60 seconds. Milk, 2 sugars, get on with your day. To achieve that speed and colour, the big brands don't use actual tea leaves. They use tea dust. Literally the stuff swept off the factory floor after processing. The finest, most broken down particles.
Packed with concentrated pesticides, high fluoride levels, and residues of a chemical called epichlorohydrin that's used to treat the paper. If you try to drink loose-leaf tea in this country, you get mocked. Ooh, look at you, all fancy. Too posh for a normal brew, are we? So people stick with the dusty, chemical-laden convenience. And the industry makes billions selling you floor sweepings in a plastic bag. But which brands exactly are doing this? Let's name names. Starting with the ones you probably have in your cupboard right now. Yorkshire Tea, the pride of the North. They made a big song and dance about going plastic-free, but they still use PLA heat sealing, which releases nanoplastics into your cup and tears apart easily. It's not actually plastic-free at all. PG Tips. They invented the pyramid tea bag and told you it gave the leaves room to breathe. Marketing genius, really. What they didn't tell you, those bags were made of nylon and PET, Lab tests found over 11 billion microplastic particles released per single steep. 11 billion per cup. Twinings. Oh, Twinings, the posh one with the royal warrant on the box. Been around since 1706, charges double the price, and what do you get? PLA sealing and individually wrapped bags with plastic laminate film inside the packaging. You're paying premium prices for factory dust wrapped in bioplastic, sold under the illusion of heritage and quality. Tetley, working class icon, kitchen table staple, took them years to even attempt changing their formula. Some of their traditional lines were still using 0.04 grams of raw polypropylene per individual bag until very recently. That's the stuff you've been dunking in your tea every single morning. 4 massive brands, 4 household names, all hiding the same dirty secret. But it's not just the heritage giants. Typhoo. You only get an ooh with Typhoo. Catchy slogan. You also get the lowest grade tea dust they can legally sell, maxed out pesticide residues, and synthetic polymers in the bag to cut production costs. They've been operating on razor-thin profit margins for years, and it absolutely shows in the product quality. Then there's the supermarket own brands. Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, Morrisons, Aldi.
Marketed as the budget-friendly saviour during the cost of living crisis, but lab tests consistently find the highest pesticide levels in these generic blends. They bleach the paper heavily with chemicals to make it look clean and pure. They use the cheapest PLA sealing available, and they fill it with the absolute lowest grade sweepings from processing plants. So if you're pinching pennies and buying the cheapest box of tea on the shelf, you're actually getting the most contaminated product in the entire aisle. At this point, you might be thinking, is there any safe tea left in this country? Actually, yes. Clipper. Absolute pioneers in the UK tea industry. First company in Britain to make a tea bag that's genuinely 100% plastic-free. No PLA, no polypropylene, no greenwashing. They use unbleached paper. That's why it's beige or slightly brownish in colour. The bag itself is made from natural plant fibres like abaca and hemp, and they seal it with mechanical folds, no glue.
No heat sealing, no synthetic polymers. Hampstead Tea. Biodynamic and certified organic. Their tea bags are hand-stitched with organic cotton thread. No glue, no staples, no PLA, no shortcuts. The paper is completely chlorine-free. Pucker and Dragonfly. Both brands use organic cotton thread to tie and close the bags. No heat sealing, no bioplastics. High-purity, unbleached paper throughout. The clean product exists. It's sitting on the shelves right now, available in most major supermarkets. So why on earth isn't everyone switching? What's stopping people from making the obvious choice? Because changing your tea brand in Britain isn't like switching washing up liquid or breakfast cereal. It's almost tribal. People are as fiercely loyal to their brew as they are to their football team. Yorkshire Tea didn't just sell you tea, they sold you an identity. Good, honest brew, hard work, northern grit, integrity. Admitting that your beloved brand has been quietly releasing plastic particles into your body for decades? That's a genuine psychological blow. So people deny it. They double down. I've been drinking it for 30 years and I'm absolutely fine. You're overreacting, mate. It's just a bloody tea bag. Except it's not just a tea bag. It's a perfect case study in how tradition and nostalgia can be weaponized by massive corporations to hide uncomfortable truths. The story of tea in the United Kingdom is the story of how we let nostalgia and marketing blind us to reality. While we spent generations arguing about milk order, water temperature, and whether the kettle should be reboiled, the industry slipped plastic and chemical residues into the most sacred daily ritual in British life. The solution is sitting right there on the shelf. Clipper, Hampstead, Pucker.
You can absolutely keep your beloved cuppa without swallowing billions of synthetic particles. But until we stop treating our tea brand like a family heirloom and start actually asking what's in the bag, we'll keep drinking poison, one comfortable, traditional, perfectly British sip at a time.